Alright, this is a video specifically for Zombie Melter on Reddit to kind of clarify what is a Copperhead and what is a first fire igniter, depending on what you'll have for your motor. It's easier to show this thing than it is to write up a comment about it, and I'll show you how to use the Copperhead if you don't have one of the special clips for it. The first thing is, if you get an igniter that looks like this with yellow wires, what you do to use this is a first fire. You can separate them by putting your nails in the nails of your fingernails on opposite sides of the wire and pulling it apart. It'll come apart really easy. And then you strip this wire just a little bit, enough to wrap around the clips so you can get a good clip on it. Use this just like you would your regular Estes igniter. Make sure you put it, there's no motor in this casing, so normally there'd be a nozzle or something in there. You put it all the way until it stops. Every single composite motor works like this. Well, actually, there are some weird end burning ones, but they're extraordinarily rare. Composite motors are core burning. They start from the top of the grain, not the bottom of the grain, like you would with your black powder motors that you're probably familiar with. That is all I have to say on those. These are far, far nicer to use than the Copperheads, but I will show you a Copperhead as soon as this is away and safe, and how to use a Copperhead. The primary way to use a Copperhead, and this is a Copperhead, it has one tail of a wire. It looks like it's just one wire, but there is, we'll get into that a little bit. The three ways to set this off. There is, Aerotech has initiator clips. You find them on their Aerotech initiator launch system and other stuff, and they'll just clip on and they'll launch this. No problem. They're specifically designed to launch these Copperheads. They'll also launch regular ones, and I'll tell you why in a minute. The other way, there's a weird fold you can do, and then there's the tape method. I don't like the fold. The tape method has always worked for me and has always set off these igniters, although sometimes I have trouble even with these igniters igniting the Aerotech motors. Usually these are in the smaller motors now, and the older stock motors. Most of the new stuff has first fires and first fire juniors, and I wouldn't be surprised with the fact that Aerotech bought out Quest that the smaller motors move to the Q2 G2 igniters when they come back in stock, if they come back in stock. Anyways, how any igniter works, whether it's this one, whether it's the Estes one, whether it is the first fire or the Q2 G2, there is always two wires. Even in this one, it looks like one, but there's actually two. And bridged between those two wires is a resistor covered in pyrogen. The resistor is off very, very small value resistor, like a half ohm or something like that. It's just there to heat up enough to start the pyrogen, which starts the motor. This is the same way. The two wires, there is actually a thin insulator in between each of these sides. So if you just clamp on a regular, you know, alligator clip or whatever comes on with your normal igniter, you're going to be touching both wires with this, and you're going to be creating a short here. And if you clamp on the other side of it, what you're actually going to have is a short between these two on both conductors, and none of the electricity is actually going to go through the resistor at the top. It's going to take the path of least resistance, which is between these two wires, because they're both contacting both wires, which are on either side of the wire. The tape method, which is the easiest way to do this, uses masking tape, which you'll use all over the place in rocketry, and you should always have a bunch of it on stock in different sizes and shapes. Any one will work fine with this. I like the ½ inch is just my general purpose, what I use. You take a small bit of it, you place it on one side. Actually, you can kind of go almost like that, about that side. And then you get another small bit of it, and you place it on the other side. Like that. So you have one side covered up there, one side covered up there. Now, I'm using, for this demonstration purpose, I got clip whip, so this isn't connected to anything, so this shouldn't start the motor or start the igniter in my hand or anything like that, but normally you just use a normal one. And then when you grab this, you want to make sure you can kind of fold the tape a little bit or whatever. You want to get one side grabbing that, but the other side of this, yeah, is touching all masking tape. So the masking tape is acting like an insulator. This actually works better with smooth clips as opposed to alligator clips, but normally I don't have a problem with alligator clips on this. And then it's the same thing for the other side. Sometimes it helps to kind of bend back the masking tape. I'm getting it off the video here. So bend back the masking tape a little bit and grab it. And then check continuity. If you don't put masking tape on this, it'll always say you have good continuity, because the continuity is just checking to make sure there's a circuit, not that it goes through the resistor. But this should launch a Copperhead. I'm not going to do it because I'm inside right now, and this has quite a bit of pyrogen in it. I don't really care about the Estes ones, but when you're getting into composite igniters, they tend to have a bit more pyrogen. Also, I want to save it. I have a motor for it somewhere. That's how to use a Copperhead and what to look for. The other ones, sometimes these sonic igniters and the first fires can take more juice before they go off than a regular Estes igniter, or especially a Quest igniter. I know the Estes sonic igniters are kind of hard to ignite with their normal igniters, their normal controller. But I have found good luck with just holding the button down for like 10 seconds. Make sure you have fresh batteries too, that'll help a lot. But these do ignite. You can use the tape method I showed you here to ignite them. Although I believe that's not the preferred method. They want you to use their initiator clips, which are like any other clip except for they only have a contact on one side of the clip. Yeah, that's that.